She would be great for business, and I'm gonna go talk to her and I'm gonna walk up, but maybe not today. I don't have the right color lipstick on today. Like maybe if I had on red, then it would be better. It would be a better conversation. And I found myself like making excuses. Have you ever done that? Yes. And some of you, sometimes you walk by people, you talk to people constantly, and you don't even think to initiate the conversation of, let me get to know you, so that we can exchange information so that we can possibly be in business with each other. And so there was a lot of things that I had to do to practice. So I would play the penny game. I would put 10 pennies in my right pocket. And before I went home, I had to exchange 1 penny each time I had a conversation with someone, and they gave me their cell phone number. It didn't count if I got a bit like an email address. You know, you have people to do that. Well, I won't give you my number, but I'll just give you my email address. Like, forget it, never mind. It's not even gonna work, because you don't want me to talk to you if you can't even give me your number. Never mind, that doesn't count. The penny could only exchange from one pocket to the next if I was getting a good conversation with someone that they were willing to give me their phone number. Okay, so here I go. I go from one person and I exchange it. By the end of the day, I have, that it's in that pocket. Talk to the next person, Mr. Billy right here, and take the penny from one pocket because he gave me his information, I gave him my information. Okay, I have another penny, but the thing about it that made it really good was because I couldn't go home until all the pennies were gone. Can you imagine what that day is like? You get into the end, you're like, I got 2 more pennies in this right pocket. And what am I going to do? And what I've learned to do is to hold myself accountable. Say, hold yourself accountable. Because if not, guess what? No one else is going to do it for you. So then I found myself stopping at the gas station, stopping at a few places along the way at home. I remember I was playing this game, and one day I had a meeting to go to. And I knew by the time I got out of the meeting, it was going to be too late to get my peaks. So I said, oh gosh, I got to run to the mall so I can get my peaks really quick. And really what this does is it forces you and it teaches you how to communicate with people. And what you should always be looking at is, how am I interacting with this person? Am I coming across in a way where, they're receiving what I like? And I'm gonna tell you one of the strategies that really works for me. You want one of my peaking strategies? I used to do this. I used to be really vague and I say, Mr. Billy, oh, that's a sharp suit that you have on, sir. Where are you coming from today? He's looking at me like, why are you all in my business? Sir, just a question. Where are you coming from? Mr. Billy would say, I'm coming from work. Oh, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, all in his business. And I realized he's getting uncomfortable. He's like, have you ever talked to somebody and you're trying to pique them and they're looking at you like, why are you in my business? So then what I learned to do to be more effective, because I didn't have a lot of time, I learned to walk up to Mr. Billy and say, hello, Mr. Billy, how are you? My name is Tishina Anderson. I'm actually an entrepreneur in the area, and I'm always looking to connect with smart, successful people. One of the things we do is we help people to make additional money in a home-based business, and that business can make you anywhere between $1,000 to $1 million in a year. But we're always looking to give people more information. Does that sound like something that you would be interested in? Yeah, okay, well, great. How about I'll give you my business card if you don't mind sharing your information with me, and I'll send some things over to you right away. Isn't that straight and to the point? That way I don't have to act like I care where you work. I don't have to act like I care, like how many children you have. How many kids do you have? What's their names again? You don't have to pretend. You can just really say, this is who I am. I loved earlier was a young lady that was a newly promoted national director. She has on a pretty dress, short hair. Where'd she go? She's in here somewhere, right? Yes. She said, what did you say earlier? She said, I'm a professional network marketer. And I was sitting over to the side. I was like, ooh, I like that. I'm going to borrow that one from her. But isn't that great to walk up to someone and say, hello, Mr. Billy. Hello, how are you? My name is Tishina Anderson. I'm actually a professional network marketer. It's okay to say who you are. It's okay to be blunt and straightforward and say, this is who I am. This is what I'm looking for. Are you interested? Is that okay? Yes. Okay. But you gotta know what you need. So we talked about practicing your craft, expanding your network. You got to go out and go to events and meet people. This is important because it's going to help you to build your base. They say your funnel. So how do you build your funnel of people? If you feel like you're running out of people to talk to, you go out, you go to networking events, and you meet people. And that's how you build your network. You have to learn your best practices. This is important. I got 5 minutes, okay. What number am I on?
4, 3.
I'm on 2. Jesus. Okay, let me hurry up. All right, so you have to learn your best practices. Now, let me ask you guys this. If I said to you today, I need you to recruit 5 people in the next 3 days, how many of you know where you would go to find those 5 people? Vicki, where would you go?
Basically, I would find, like, I got a networking function. This girl just texted me a few minutes ago. Some boys networking function Friday night, formal.
So you would go to like an event. Okay, where else would you guys go if I said 5 people in the next 3 days? Where would you go to find your 5 people?
College.
You would go to the local college, and what would you do when you get there?
I would talk to people. Well, I used to work at TCU, so I would just talk to people I know and see who's looking for something extra to help them.
You just stand on the campus and how would you
I
do
would
it?
go to somebody I know.
Because I'm just like me, I'll go and do it for you, like do it with you. Like let's just stand there and just hello, hi.
I do that.
Yeah, okay. So you go to college campus, you talk to people you know on the campus. Okay, where else would you go to find your next 5 people in the next 3 days? You would go to the mall. Where would you go, sir? You would go to the tournaments that are coming up. Where would you go? Who else? Where would you go?
Locksmith. I sometimes go to the locksmith and I just sit in there, and when people come in and get keys, it always takes time to make the keys.
That's a new one. I've never heard that one before. A locksmith. They're sitting there waiting to get their keys, and he has a conversation with them. Okay, I might have to try that one out. I never thought about that one. Where else? The barbershop. Okay, so you would go to the barbershop.
Well, I go to church. The same thing she said.
Church.
That she should already have.
You would go to your list. You go back to your list. I would go back to my list too.
I'm going back to the bank. I went to the bank yesterday and had to see some guys interested. He asked me about another network marketing company and what's the difference between my company and his company. He's able to open up an account and what other business. Yeah.
Okay, where else? Anywhere else? Yeah.
Go to the supermarket at noontime and at 6 o'clock because it's rush hour. It's like the whole field there.
Interesting. When you get there, what's your strategy? Yeah, you get to the supermarket, everyone's coming in, they're trying to get food for dinner. You just stand at the door and just say, hold up.
Earrings. I like your earrings.
I like your
Hi,
earrings.
my name is Joey Shields. Quick question. Do you keep your options open for other ways of making extra money?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do.
I'm a mother. I'm just imagining myself at the market, and this gentleman says, I like your earrings. And do you keep your options open? Additional money. Yeah. I might be a little afraid. I'm just telling you. This might take me a little bit off guard. Where would you go? You would go to the school, okay. Would you talk to the parents or the teachers? Mm-hmm. You know where would probably be the best place to start in a situation like that? Which most people don't think. Like, they say I'll go to the church, or they'll say I'll go to the school. But if you go to church, the first person you should see is the who? The pastor. If you go to school, who's the first person you should see? The principal. Always start at the top, never start at the bottom. Okay? Now, here's the thing. This is what I would do. I don't know about y'all. Y'all going to crazy places. Locksmith, the market. I'm gonna have to think about those things. Okay, this is what I would do. You want to know what I would do? If I need to find 5 people in the next 3 days, first thing I would do probably is go to social media. I would probably go to Facebook, and I would see who's on there that is looking to lose weight. You see people always working out. So if they're not in my business and they're looking to work out, I would send them a direct message and say, give me a call. I see you're working out. Wanted to see what you're doing. And then I would go from them working out to taking a look at our products, and then also knowing more about how to utilize our High Five program where they can lose weight, use the product, and make money. That'd probably be my first strategy. Then I would take a look at a strategy and say, okay, let me look through my list, and I would go through past friends and family members, and I would go get referrals. Because those people, I can say to them, hi, I'm calling you Mark because Sharon actually recommended you to me. I'm a good friend of hers. And then there's an association. It's always good for it to be a warm market connection. Okay? That's the second thing I would do. And I would go back to old people and I would go back to them because people always change cycles every 6 to 9 months. Right? Now, that's just a few things that I would do if I need to get 5 people in the next 3 days. But I'm going to try the market. And the locks. I'm gonna try that. But here's the point. Here is the point. It's usually why people can't be successful because they don't know the strategies that work for them. Now here's the place that you should probably go. You should probably think of, if you have recruited anybody, how did I recruit them? And that's exactly what you should go back to. You should go back to a strategy that has already worked for you instead of trying to create new things from new places. It's nice, but let's stick with things that work for you. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, number 3, I want you to pick the right people to join you in the journey. Now, one of the things that I see that's always missed is people forget their uplines. They forget the people who are successful. They're afraid to call them. You feel like, because I haven't done what I was supposed to do, they're on this high level, and I can't really contact them because they're going to think I haven't done anything. You don't have to raise your hand. Just blink your eyes so I can see if that's how you feel. Just blink your eyes if some of you feel that way. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm seeing it. Oh, yeah, there's another one. Yeah, there it is. Know this. Uplines are there for support. Whether you're doing good, good uplines are there for support. Whether you're having great times, bad times, whether you've only put in 1 customer or no customer. When you need help, an upline is there to help. So try to erase from your mind that you don't want to call because you haven't done anything. The whole point of them being there is so they can encourage you to not only do something, but they can encourage you to do it the right way. Does that make sense? Right. Okay, a lot of times people skip this because they feel bad about what they haven't done. And today I am here to tell you, if you have not reached out to them, please call them. Please have a discussion with them and know that yes, they are busy, but they're never too busy to help. Make sense? Now, your guide. The reason why you want to connect with people who do things or know something more than you do, your uplines, because they do know something that you don't know. You want to figure out, are they supportive? Are they positive? I'm going to go to the next one. Know where you are going. If you're in a car, we have the right vehicle. We know where the dream is, but do you know how to get there? And that's important. A lot of times people are in the business, but they don't know where they're going. So you have to figure out how much money would you like to make. This is all a part of the destination. In order for you to get to your goal, you have to know how much money that is. So write a number down, whether you want to make $5,000, whether you want to make $10,000, whatever that number is, you want to achieve that number. So not only should you know how much you want to make, but you need to know what you need to do in order to make that amount of money. I wanted to go full time. I wanted my freedom back. And that meant that I had to know what the number was. I had to know what my freedom meant. Like, does it mean I need a year's worth of my income put aside? Does it mean I need 2 years, 6 months? What would I be comfortable with? You put the number down and then you say, well, what is it that I need to do every month? And when am I going to actually obtain it? Does that make sense? How fast do you want to reach the next position? So you're on this destination, you want to get there, you should have a calendar. You guys have those little handy dandy phones, that's good, but calendars where you can see it in front of you are even better. And you should have on there that next date. A lot of times people set dates for their next position to be the next national convention or the next regional event. It's usually always associated around a big event. So find out when the next national is and say, I'm going to be at the next position by then. Put it on there. Put ED, put ND, circle it, put a little heart through it, whatever you want to do with smiley face, but put that date on there. You need to think about how many people do you want to help. This is all big with building your vision. I had to know, like, am I trying to help 100 people this month? Am I trying to help 1,000 people this month? How big is your vision? You have to know what that vision is. Instead of just going out and talking to people, you have to know where you're trying to go and what do you want your residuals to be and what customers should you focus on to get there. One of the things I do with my team is I take a look at, we all want to build big residuals. I say, well, what customers pay out the highest residual? Let's focus on that, because